They say the hospitality business is just adult babysitting for people with money and unchecked entitlement. I learned that lesson early. My name is Caleb Sterling. I am an American hotel owner, and I built my place with scar tissue, not inheritance. The Azure Shore sits along the Florida Panhandle, where the ocean looks calm but never really is. It is a boutique luxury hotel for people who believe service should be invisible, and perfection should be assumed. The kind of guests who know the difference between linen quality by touch and complain if the silence is too loud. I did not marry into this. I did not inherit it. I clawed it out of sand and debt after my first marriage, and my first business collapsed at the same time when everything fell apart. I moved south with nothing but a bad credit score and a refusal to quit. My office sits above the main atrium, glass walls, clean lines from here. I watch the lobby like a hawk watching mice. Tuesday afternoons are dangerous. That is when strange requests land on my desk. That was when my events director Lisa walked in. She had that look, the one that says someone wants to bend reality and expects us to smile while it breaks. We have a request for full ballroom buy. Out, she said. Memorial Day weekend platinum package, reserve wine list outside. Cake request denied, I said without looking up. Our pastry chef trained in Lyon. No outside food. Who is it? Corporate booking, she said. Apex Dynamics LLC. But the rider includes a bridal suite for Astrid and a groom lounge for Jordan Hale. The air vanished, not changed, vanished. Jordan Hale, my ex-partner, the man who 5 years ago dissolved our catering company behind my back, left me with the debt, took the clients, then married ambition and younger confidence. My heart did not race, it stopped calculating. Restarted slow and heavy. You know them? She asked quietly. I took a sip of cold coffee. Apex Dynamics is a shell company. I said. Jordan uses it when he wants to hide personal expenses as corporate retreats. I opened the contract. Standard language, exceptional audacity. He was booking my hotel for his wedding. When we split, I was broke. Studio apartment, mold silence. He kept the reputation and the money. I moved south and built this place specifically to be everything he would want, but never control. He does not know. It is yours, she said. I scanned the contact details. Third-party planner, generic email. No direct name. He does not know. I said to him, it is just another luxury venue. So do we decline? She asked. No. If we decline, he books the resort down the coast. Perfect wedding, perfect smile, no reckoning. But buried deep in the contract was a clause I wrote years ago at 3 in the morning, fueled by wine and resentment, misrepresentation of event identity, failure to disclose primary principles, right to terminate without refund. He booked under a shell. He hid himself. He lied. Approve it. I said send the welcome basket, the expensive one. Lisa looked pale. Are you sure? I was not, but I nodded. Add me and lead operations on the event. No guest facing paperwork, invisible. I stood at the window watching Bellman load luggage into a luxury sedan. The hotel ran like a machine. My machine, Jordan Hale, was coming into my house, bringing his future wife, spending my money, sleeping in my sheets. And he had no idea. I signed the approval line, created a new folder on my laptop. Project LOW. You tied, because when the ocean pulls back, you finally see what was always buried, and he was about to walk straight into it. He thought he booked a wedding venue. What he really booked was a memory that would follow him forever. Weeks later, they arrived. I made sure I was nowhere near the front desk. No greeting, no recognition, no announcement. Instead, I stood inside the grand ballroom, wearing the standard uniform, black shirt, black slacks, name tag that read Caleb Ops, not owner, not founder, just another moving piece. I held a clipboard and pretended to inspect lighting panels, The doors opened. Jordan walked in first, still tall, still polished silver, touching his temples, the kind of man who looks expensive even when he is tired, which he was. He was on his phone, of course. He was always on his phone, voice low, talking about projections and investor anxiety. Then came Astrid. She moved like the room existed to frame her small, blonde, sharp sunglasses. On indoors, no windows in that ballroom. It is smaller than it looked online, she said immediately, not looking at the murals or the architecture, only at the space as a backdrop. Our events director, Lisa, smiled with professional restraint. This room seats 400 comfortably with your guest count. It will feel spacious. I do not want spacious, Astrid snapped. I want intimate, but expensive intimate. Jordan, get off the phone. He lowered it halfway, still listening. Babe, it is just the partners. I am worried about the florals looking like a funeral. She shot back. Priorities. Lisa gestured toward me. This is Caleb from operations. He will oversee setup and logistics. Jordan glanced at me, not a flicker, not a pause. 6 years together, and I registered as furniture good. I like efficiency. Astrid said, okay, listen. She pointed around the room. I want the head table elevated. I want to look down at people. We can arrange staging. I said, voice lowered. Authority stripped. Good. And these curtains, they are depressing. Those curtains cost more than his watch. But I kept my face neutral. They are part of the acoustic design, I said, removing them affects sound quality. Fine, cover them with flowers. She walked toward a sample table. A junior captain named Illy was adjusting silver. Why is this fork here? She barked. Illy stammered, salad fork, mom. It looks cluttered. Remove it. We will eat everything with one fork. My jaw tightened. Actually, I said, stepping forward, for a 5-course service. That change could delay timing. She spun on me. I did not ask for your opinion. Move tables. Do not lecture me. Jordan did not look up, just waved a hand. Do what she says. That was the sound of entitlement settling into a room. I watched. Astrid criticized. Jordan avoided staff, absorbed as they turned to leave. Astrid pointed at a fingerprint on the glass. If I see dirt like that on my wedding day, I want compensation. We strive for excellence. Lisa said, try harder. Astrid replied when the doors closed. Lisa exhaled. I hate them. So do I said quietly. I pulled out my phone, texted my legal counsel. Pull Apex Dynamics contracts, check conduct clauses, we may need them. I walked past the fingerprint, left it there back in my office. I reviewed the file. Deposit, massive, non-refundable signatory, not Jordan, someone else. Tracy Miller, his CFO and former affair. Corporate funds, personal wedding, booked as a retreat. Fraud. But paper breaches were not enough. I needed behavior. Witnesses, no ambiguity. I did not want to cancel. I wanted inevitability. I sent another message to Lisa, make them initial. Conduct, addendum, every page, she replied. They did not read it, of course. They did not. They never do. I stood by the window, watching the ocean darken. A storm forming off. Sure, the thing about storms is not the rain, it is the pressure shift. Beforehand, the moment your ears pop. And you know something is coming. Jordan thought this was just a venue tour. Astrid thought this was her stage. Neither realized they were being measured, observed, logged. They were already failing by the time they left that ballroom. The contract was signed, the trap was set. And all I needed now was one mistake. The wedding day arrived, wrapped in humidity and tension. Florida in late spring feels like the air itself is watching you. The ballroom looked flawless. I will give credit where it is due. White orchids hanging like frozen rain, soft amber lighting, crystal everywhere. Even Astrid could not ruin aesthetics completely. I wore a charcoal suit, not guest, not staff management, neutral, easy to ignore. Jordan held court near the bar, laughing too loud, sweating through linen, holding a drink like armor. Astrid floated through the room like a supervisor on inspection, not smiling, counting, correcting, scanning. Dinner service approached that window where everything can break. We were short-staffed due to flu, so everyone pitched in. Housekeeping included. Maria was helping clear glasses, carrying a heavy tray, moving carefully. Astrid turned suddenly, nearly collided. Maria stopped, perfectly balanced, calm. Sorry, Mom, Maria said. Astrid recoiled as if touched by disease. Watch where you are going. You almost ruined my dress. Nothing touched her, not a drop. I am very sorry, Mom. Do not be sorry, be competent. Jordan stepped in lazily. Babe, relax. It is not fine. The help is everywhere. It feels like an infestation. That word landed. Infestation, something cold settled in me. This was not personal anymore. This was mine. I moved toward a nearby table, sat briefly. A waiter passed with appetizers. I took one. Quality control. Astrid saw me, not recognition, just judgment. She marched over, snatched the plate from my hand. Staff, eat in kitchen, she said loudly. Not here. The table went silent. Jordan glanced over. Recognition flickered, then vanished. Do your job. You're ruining the aesthetic. She handed the plate to a waiter. Trash it. I stood, smoothed my jacket, placed my napkin neatly. I replayed 5 years in my head. The debt, the night. Sleeping on an air mattress, scrubbing floors myself, building this place with hands that shook. Then she turned away. I walked to the service corridor. Lisa stood frozen. Caleb, are you okay? I looked at her, calm, clear. Initiate protocol 0. Her eyes widened. That is for hurricanes. This is a hurricane. I said category 5. I pushed through the kitchen doors. Heat, noise, steel, fire. Everyone stop. I said, not loud. Certain silence fell. Turn off the ovens, set down tools. The head chef stepped forward. Main course is firing. Cancel it. The room stared. The contract is void. Abuse of staff, fraudulent booking. We are refusing service. Everyone gets paid full shift plus hazard bonus. Pack up. Then I opened champagne, poured, drank. Staff, eat in the kitchen. So tonight we eat. I left them and went upstairs, pulled up the control systems, lights, sound, AC. I called security, perimeter, passive, aggressive, hostile, valet. Suspended cars staged, then the temperature 72 to 85. I watched the feed. Jordan laughing, Astrid bored. They had no idea the kitchen was dark. Staff sat on counters eating wedding food, laughing. Lisa whispered to Jordan. His smile faded. Astrid slammed her hand on the table. My phone buzzed. Jordan texting, fix this. I did not reply. I adjusted the AC lower, watched sweat appear. This was not revenge. This was enforcement. David, my lawyer, appeared. Termination notice. Ready? I nodded. Then the microphone cut. Astrid stood to speak. Silence answered. Heat, confusion, murmurs. Guests fanned themselves. Food delayed. The illusion cracked. I leaned back, watched. The storm was no longer off. Sure, it was inside. She thought the worst part of her wedding was the heat. She had no idea. The real confrontation had not even begun. The ballroom was unraveling, not loudly, quietly. The most dangerous kind. Guests shifted in their seats. Napkins became fans, jackets came off, whispers spread faster than music ever could. Astrid tapped the microphone. Nothing. She frowned, tapped again. Feedback screeched. Once, then died. Is it getting hot in here? Someone called out. Jordan stood, looking around. Where is the service manager? No one answered. The staff were gone, every single one. That is when I sent the message. Owner requests groom immediately. Courtyard, contractual emergency. Lisa delivered it. Jordan went pale. Astrid yelled after him, and get me a diet soda. He did not answer. I left the mezzanine and descended Stairs calm measured every step intentional. The courtyard was quiet, lanterns, glowing water from the fountain, cooling the air. Jordan burst through the doors, tie loose, jacket open. Where is the manager? Where is the owner? I stepped out from the shadows. Hello, Jordan. He froze, squinted, then recognition slammed into him. Caleb, hi. What are you doing here? Do you work here? I laughed short, sharp. I own it. His mouth opened, closed, reopened. You own this, every brick, every plate, every clause in your contract. He laughed nervously. Okay, look, this is personal. You cannot shut down my wedding because you are bitter. You booked under a shell company. You misrepresented the event. And your wife assaulted my staff. She did not assault anyone. She is just particular. She snatched food from my hands. Jordan, from the owner, color drained from his face. That was you, that was me. He ran his hand through his hair. Okay, turn the AC back. On, serve dinner. I will pay more. I already have your money, and I am keeping it. He started to argue. You stopped. The contract was airtight. The doors opened. Astrid stormed out, sweating, makeup streaking. Why is it boiling? Who is this? She pointed at me. The kitchen eater, Jordan. Whispered, she owns the hotel. Astrid stared, then laughed her. Yes, you cannot talk to me like this. Do you know who my father is? Does he know where you are getting married? Her face went red. This is humiliating. She screamed at Jordan. You brought me to your ex-partner. I corrected. And the wedding is over. Security is escorting guests out. You cannot. I have rights. I unfolded the termination notice. You breached conduct. You breached fraud. You breached common decency. 10 minutes. Astrid screamed. Jordan begged. Think about what we had. I thought about the apartment, the debt, the silence. Staff eat in kitchen, I said, but tonight they eat lobster and you eat consequences. I turned away. In the lobby, chaos bloomed. Controlled, efficient security moved. Valets staged cars. Guests confused but compliant outside. Astrid sobbed. Jordan shouted into his phone. Police arrived. Calm, professional. Trespass was explained. Jordan looked at me. Where do we go? Anywhere else? The internet was already watching. Phones up, filming. Astrid lunged. Police intervened. That was it. They left, dragging luggage, dragging pride. I stood on the steps. Cool air finally restored. The storm had passed inside. The staff cheered quietly. Not loud, not cruel, just relieved. By sunrise, the video would be everywhere, and the story would no longer belong to them. By morning, the ocean looked innocent again. That is how storms lie. My phone vibrated nonstop. Missed calls. Unknown numbers, publicists pretending to be concerned friends. The video spread exactly as expected. Multiple angles. Sweaty guests, a screaming bride, Jordan begging in a courtyard. Captioned 100 different ways. Luxury wedding. Cancelled by hotel owner. Bride melts. Down after staff abuse. Groom exposed for corporate fraud. Truth does not need good marketing. It just needs light. I arrived early. Lobby spotless. Staff rested. Quiet. Pride humming under the surface. Maria stood near the coffee station. She smiled when she saw me. Small, grateful. Thank you, she said. For what? For stopping it. I nodded. That was enough. Legal arrived at 9. David already smiling. That smile means leverage. Jordan's investors are furious. He said corporate card misuse, false expense reporting. They are distancing. Astrid's family issued a statement. Stress induced behavior. Emotions ran high. No apology, just noise. We issued one line. Azure Shore enforces zero tolerance for abuse. Staff safety is not negotiable. That sentence did more damage than any rant ever could. Bookings surged. Emails poured in. People like places with principles. Jordan sent one final message. We could have talked. I deleted it. There are conversations that end the moment respect does. At noon, I walked the ballroom. Chairs stacked Floral's wilting quiet echo. I sat at the head table alone, looked out at where they would have stood. Power is strange, it feels heavy when you use it right. Lisa joined me. You okay? I nodded. I did not win. I closed a chapter. The hotel breathed around me. Staff moving, guests arriving, life continuing. I went back to my office, opened the folder. Project LOW. You tied, closed it, deleted it. Some things are not meant to be revisited outside. The tide came in, covering everything again, like nothing had happened. But the seabed was changed, and so were we, they thought. The wedding was the end of the story for me. It was the moment everything finally balanced. A week later, the hotel settled into a new rhythm, not louder, not quieter, just steadier, the kind of calm you earn. Guests checked in with curiosity. Some smiled like they recognized me from a secret. Some avoided eye contact. People always do when power shows its teeth. I did not give interviews. I did not post statements. Silence is expensive, and I could afford it. One afternoon, I walked the service corridor, the place guests never see, where real work lives. Maria laughed with Illy. Someone played music too loud. Someone else sang off key. They stopped when they saw me. Do not stop, I said. This place does not run on fear. They laughed again, louder. This time that night, I stood on the balcony outside my office, watching waves break and disappear. The ocean never keeps receipts, but it remembers everything. Jordan lost his position, not because of me, because truth travels faster once the door opens. Astrid disappeared from the internet, which in her world is the same as exile. I did not celebrate. I slept for the first time in years, deep, uninterrupted. There is a lie people believe about revenge, that it tastes sweet. It does not. It tastes clean, like air after rain, like a room after shouting stops. What I protected was not my pride. It was my people, the ones who show up early, carry weight, take blame, and are told to smile through it. This industry teaches you to accept abuse as a fee. I changed the price. A month later, a wedding took place in that same ballroom. Small, nervous, happy. The bride hugged Maria. The groom thanked the kitchen. They tipped everyone twice. I watched from the mezzanine, invisible, exactly where I belong. Lisa joined me, same spot as before. Worth it, she asked. I looked at the room, at the laughter, at the ease. Yes, I said, because balance is not about punishment. It is about alignment. You give respect, you receive care. You abuse, you lose access. That is the rule. Now the ocean rolled in below, indifferent, eternal. I turned off the lights in my office and locked the door. Tomorrow would bring new guests, new problems, new storms. But I was ready, because this place was no longer built on resentment. It was built on clarity, and clarity holds. Some people come to your door to celebrate love. Others come to test your boundaries. Both will leave with exactly what they earned.